Scorpios, have you ever felt like you were standing on the edge of a cliff, where one decision could either take you soaring to new heights, or send you spiraling down? Well, June is going to bring just that kind of energy to your life. You could lose control, or you could gain everything you've ever desired. What will it be for you? In today's video, we're diving deep into how June will challenge you, Scorpio. It's going to be an intense month, one full of powerful transformations and potentially life-altering decisions. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of the stars and take charge of your destiny, then keep watching. But here's the catch: this is not a month to sit back and wait for things to happen. This is the moment to take action, whether it's releasing the past, making bold moves in your career, or stepping into a new chapter of self-awareness. But don't worry, you won't be facing this alone. I'll walk you through exactly what's coming your way, give you practical tips to harness the cosmic energy, and show you how to stay grounded even when everything around you feels chaotic. So, if you're a Scorpio looking to understand the powerful energy of June, or even if you're just curious about how astrology can shape your life, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your fellow Scorpios or anyone who could use a little cosmic wisdom. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end of this video. Let's see if June will be the month you lose control, or gain it all. The month of June feels like a cosmic crossroads for Scorpios, a time where your fate can swing either way, often with a dramatic flair. For you, Scorpio, this isn't just any month. This is one of those times when the stars seem to conspire to push you toward transformation or, if you're not careful, a spiral of unpredictability. One moment, you could be feeling empowered and in control of your destiny. The next, you might feel as if you're losing your grip on everything. So, what's coming your way, and how can you make the most of this intense, volatile energy? For Scorpio, the essence of June is defined by the powerful influence of Pluto, your ruling planet. As the planet of transformation, Pluto doesn't settle for surface-level changes, it digs deep. It wants to strip away what's unnecessary and bring you face to face with your deepest truths. Think of it like a cosmic pressure cooker. What's been simmering beneath the surface, hidden away, is going to come to the forefront. You may feel a surge of energy pushing you toward big decisions, whether it's to change something in your personal life, take on a new challenge, or finally release what's been holding you back. For some, this might feel like an opportunity for empowerment, but for others, it could be an overwhelming flood of emotions that threaten to take control. It's easy to imagine a Scorpio standing in front of the mirror in June, staring at their own reflection and seeing a version of themselves they don't even recognize. One of the things that make you, Scorpio, unique is your natural ability to transform. But here's the catch: the transformation you experience this month can feel both liberating and painful at the same time. You may find yourself caught between two opposing forces: your intense desire to remain in control of your life and the sudden pull toward letting go of the past. The truth is, transformation often requires surrender, and the challenge in June is knowing when to hold on and when to release. Here's where Pluto's energy really comes into play. Its power isn't just about personal change. It's also about learning how to wield that change wisely. There's a real danger this month of Scorpios pushing themselves too hard or feeling as though they've lost control of their emotions. Think of the pressure as a weight. You can either let it crush you, or you can use it to create something new. The trick, Scorpio, is learning how to channel this intensity rather than allowing it to overwhelm you. If you're feeling tense, anxious, or like your life is spiraling, it may be time to pause and assess what needs to change. What can I release? What do I need to take charge of right now to stay grounded? For example, take the case of Jenna, a Scorpio who had been stuck in a dead-end job for years, waiting for the perfect moment to make a change. When June arrived, Pluto's energy hit hard. She found herself questioning everything: the career she had once loved, her relationship with her family, even the city she lived in. It was overwhelming, and for a while, she considered making radical decisions, quitting her job on a whim. ending relationships that had once felt so important. But instead, she paused, allowing herself time to breathe. She asked herself, what do I truly want? Where am I holding myself back? And where am I staying stuck out of fear? The answers didn't come instantly, but by sitting with her emotions and taking a few slow, intentional steps, she managed to transform her life from a place of empowered choice, rather than chaotic reaction. If you feel like Jenna, uncertain of the direction to take, remember that Pluto's energy isn't about making hasty decisions. It's about digging deep and asking yourself tough questions. Take time for self-reflection. Trust that the answers will come when you allow yourself to sit with the discomfort of change. June doesn't require perfection or immediate action. It requires courage to face the emotional and psychological layers you've kept hidden for so long. Adding to this intense energy is the influence of Mars, the planet of action. For you, Scorpio, Mars is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it fuels your determination and drive to accomplish things. On the other hand, when combined with your natural intensity, it can create a sense of urgency, even recklessness. You're no stranger to pushing yourself hard, but this month, there's a fine line between channeling your energy into productive action and falling into impulsive decisions that you might regret later. In other words, this month could be your moment to either seize a long-awaited opportunity or to rashly push forward without thinking things through. Think of a time when you've acted impulsively, Scorpio, perhaps in a relationship or career decision, and later regretted it. Mars in your sign this month will tempt you to repeat that cycle. To dive headfirst into the unknown without fully considering the consequences. But just because you feel driven doesn't mean it's the right time to leap without looking. Take a moment to assess your motives. What are you trying to achieve, and what's the true source of your drive? Are you reacting from a place of fear, or is this energy guiding you towards something that aligns with your higher goals? Reflecting on these questions before taking action can help you avoid impulsive decisions that throw your life into chaos. To bring this point home, consider how Ben, another Scorpio, faced a tempting situation in June. He had been thinking about leaving his steady job to start his own business but was unsure if he was ready. When Mars began fueling his drive, Ben felt a rush of urgency to make the leap. At first, it seemed like the perfect opportunity. He was energized, motivated, and ready to dive in. But before making any decisions, Ben took a moment to step back and consider his long-term vision. Rather than rushing into something that felt like a quick fix, he used Mars' energy to create a plan. To think about the steps needed to build something sustainable. This allowed him to move forward with intention, not reaction. His story is a reminder that Mars' drive is best used when paired with strategy. As you feel this surge of energy, Scorpio, use it wisely. Find a balance between pushing yourself to act and taking the time to reflect. The key is to allow the fire of Mars to inspire you, but not to let it burn you out. Sometimes, the best way to harness this energy is to break down big goals into smaller, manageable steps. This allows you to stay grounded while making meaningful progress without falling into the trap of chaos. The next key factor that will shape your June is your need for control. As a Scorpio, you have an almost magnetic urge to control the things and people around you. You crave security, certainty, and structure, and you'll go to great lengths to keep things in your life in order. But here's the problem: sometimes, when you try to control everything, you end up controlling nothing. In June, this need for control will be tested like never before. Life will feel unpredictable, chaotic, and out of your hands. This can be an incredibly frustrating experience for a sign that thrives on power and stability. But what if the key to gaining control is actually learning to let go? There's a lesson here that's important for every Scorpio to learn. True control doesn't come from keeping a tight grip on everything. It comes from the ability to release what no longer serves you. Letting go of outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or old patterns that are holding you back isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of strength. When you stop trying to control every detail, you create the space for something new and better to come in. Take the case of Julia, a Scorpio who found herself caught in a whirlwind of controlling tendencies. She wanted to make sure every part of her life was perfect, her career, her relationships, even how others saw her. But over time, she began to feel overwhelmed by this constant need for perfection. It wasn't until June, under Pluto's transformative influence, that she realized something crucial. The tighter she tried to control, the more she felt out of control. With this realization, Julia chose to take a step back and embrace vulnerability. She allowed herself to let go of perfection and control, and in doing so, she found that her life began to flow with more ease and clarity. Julia's story is a powerful reminder that, sometimes, letting go is the first step toward true freedom. June is your chance, Scorpio, to decide how you want to engage with your control tendencies. Ask yourself, are you holding on to things that are no longer aligned with your highest good? Can you loosen your grip and trust that the universe will take care of the rest? The more you let go, the more you'll be able to tap into a sense of inner peace and control that doesn't rely on external circumstances. These first few weeks of June are not just about surviving, they are about thriving through transformation. By embracing the pressure of Pluto, using Mars energy strategically, and understanding that control doesn't always equal power, you're setting yourself up for one of the most transformative months of your life. But this is just the beginning. There's much more coming your way in the next few days. Will you rise to the challenge, or will you let the chaos consume you? Stay tuned for the next part of your Scorpio journey. You won't want to miss it. As June unfolds, Scorpios may find themselves standing at a powerful crossroads. With the overwhelming tides of emotional intensity and transformational energy that accompany the month, there is a distinct feeling in the air that this time, everything could shift dramatically. For Scorpios, this month could mark a significant turning point, both personally and professionally. The cosmic forces at play don't just ask you to ride the wave, they ask you to master it. And that's where the challenge lies, understanding how to balance control, passion, and the inevitable pull toward transformation. While June's energies may seem chaotic, there's a deeper gift within the turbulence, a chance to reevaluate your relationships. It's not just romantic relationships that come under scrutiny this month, your connections with family, friends, and colleagues are also bound to go through a major recalibration. You may find yourself questioning whether certain people in your life truly support your growth, or if they're dragging you down. This is particularly important for you, Scorpio, as you tend to invest yourself deeply in those you love. But sometimes, your all-or-nothing approach can leave you feeling drained or taken for granted. It's easy to see how someone like Emma, a Scorpio who had been in a long-term relationship for years, could be thrown off balance by these cosmic waves. She'd always believed in the power of love to heal and strengthen. But as June unfolded, she began to realize that her relationship was no longer fulfilling her in the way it once had. She found herself feeling stuck, like she was giving more than she was receiving. And her own needs were being ignored. This wasn't the kind of relationship she envisioned herself in, not anymore. Pluto, the planet of transformation, began whispering in her ear, urging her to let go of the past and seek a future that aligned more closely with who she had become. The emotional pull was strong. Leaving behind the safety of a long-term relationship isn't easy for anyone, let alone a Scorpio who fears betrayal and emotional loss. But, with June's energy coursing through her veins, Emma felt empowered to take action. It wasn't about abandoning the connection entirely, but about re-establishing boundaries. She began to have the difficult conversations she'd avoided for years. Through open communication, Emma was able to move toward a healthier, more balanced version of her relationship. And in doing so, she regained control over her emotional world, a control that came not from clinging, but from consciously choosing what was best for her heart. This lesson is incredibly important for Scorpios in June. Relationships are not just about emotional investment, they are about finding a healthy equilibrium. If you feel drained or overwhelmed, it might be time to ask yourself, are the relationships in your life helping you grow, or are they holding you back? Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for both yourself and others is to set clear, respectful boundaries. You don't have to burn bridges to assert your needs, you simply need to honor your own emotional energy. With all of this emotional turbulence surrounding you, it might seem tempting to escape, to retreat into the familiar comfort of the past or of what's known. But this is where the energies of June become particularly tricky. It's so easy to hide from the overwhelming feelings that arise when faced with deep, soul-shaking transformation. But the stars are asking you to do the opposite, lean into the discomfort. In fact, it's in this very discomfort that you'll find your greatest source of strength. For you, Scorpio, the urge to run from painful situations is an old defense mechanism that keeps you safe on the surface. The deeper truth, though, is that only by facing what scares you, what makes you uncomfortable, can you truly begin to heal. Whether it's an old wound from childhood, a past betrayal, or a fear of vulnerability, June's energy is pushing you to confront it head-on. It's much like when David, another Scorpio, found himself suddenly overwhelmed by the weight of past fears and emotional baggage. After years of suppressing his emotions, trying to push them down and keep moving forward, the pressure finally became too much. The chaos of June's transformative energy forced him to confront old wounds, old insecurities. At first, it felt like he was sinking, like he would never emerge from the emotional storm. But the beauty of this story is that David didn't avoid the discomfort. He leaned in. He started journaling, meditating, and seeking guidance from trusted mentors. Slowly but surely, David began to feel a shift. He started reclaiming his power, not by running away from his fears, but by walking through them. That's the beauty of Scorpio energy, you rise not despite the darkness, but through it. Facing your fears head-on this month isn't just about emotional bravery, it's also about the power of self-acceptance. June invites you to embrace all parts of yourself, even the messy, imperfect parts. Embracing your true self, flaws and all, will create the space for a profound transformation. It's not about becoming someone else, it's about shedding the layers that have kept you from fully embodying who you were always meant to be. For Scorpios in June, there is a lot of focus on inner strength, but this also applies to how you approach your career. The same fierce drive that fuels your personal life also extends into your professional world. And this month will likely bring about significant changes in this arena as well. Whether it's a shift in career direction, a new opportunity, or the realization that your current path no longer aligns with your soul, June is asking you to take a good, hard look at where you're headed. It's easy to feel disoriented by sudden changes, especially when they affect your livelihood and stability. But there's also an incredible opportunity to redefine what success means for you. For example, think of Kate, a Scorpio who had spent years building her career in a field that no longer sparked her passion. At the start of June, she felt stuck, unsure whether to keep pushing forward or make a drastic change. Pluto's influence encouraged her to look deeper, to ask herself what truly motivated her. The answer was clear: Kate wasn't in alignment with her career anymore. So, she made the brave decision to pivot and pursue her long-dormant passion for art. It wasn't an easy choice, there was uncertainty, fear, and financial insecurity to consider, but it was the right one. By trusting in herself and embracing change, Kate took a bold step toward her true calling. In doing so, she not only reclaimed control of her life but also unlocked a wellspring of creativity and joy that had been dormant for years. If you find yourself in a similar position, Scorpio, struggling with career decisions or feeling unfulfilled, trust in your instincts. The energy of June asks you to reassess what you're truly working toward. Is it money, success, or a sense of purpose? Are you chasing external validation, or are you seeking fulfillment that comes from within? Scorpios, you are at your most powerful when you pursue what truly lights you up, not what society tells you should matter. So, if a career shift is calling your name, don't hesitate to take that leap. The transformations this month aren't limited to relationships or career changes. As a Scorpio, your soul's journey is about continuous evolution. This month, you may feel the pull to dig deeper into your spirituality. Perhaps you've been feeling disconnected from your higher self. Or you've been yearning for more meaning in your life. June presents a perfect opportunity to reconnect with your spiritual path. This doesn't necessarily mean embarking on a religious journey. Spirituality for Scorpios can be deeply personal. Whether it's through meditation, energy healing, or simply reconnecting with nature. Consider Tony, a Scorpio who had always kept his spirituality at arm's length, too busy with work and life to explore it fully. But in June, something shifted. The cosmic energies encouraged him to finally slow down and tune into his inner world. Through meditation and mindfulness practices, Tony began to feel more grounded and connected to his purpose. He realized that his true strength came not from his outward accomplishments, but from his connection to something larger than himself. This newfound clarity allowed him to make better decisions. Not just in his personal life, but in his career as well. By aligning his actions with his inner truth, Tony was able to step into a new phase of growth. If you're feeling disconnected spiritually, Scorpio, take the time to explore new practices or revisit old ones that once brought you peace. Trust that reconnecting with your higher self will guide you toward your truest path. Even small steps, like daily meditation or spending time in nature, can have a profound effect on your mental and emotional state, helping you navigate June's intensity with greater ease. As June progresses, Scorpios will be faced with significant challenges, but the key is remembering that these challenges are the catalysts for your personal growth. Whether in your relationships, career, or spiritual journey, you're being asked to shed old skins and embrace the person you are becoming. You are in the process of creating a new version of yourself, one that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. The cosmic energies may feel overwhelming, but they are also the very tools you need to reclaim your power. Stay tuned, there's much more to explore in this transformative month. June isn't just a month of transformation for Scorpios, it's a time when your emotional depth and ability to connect with others will be tested and, if navigated correctly, will lead to a deeper understanding of your relationships. The way you approach intimacy, whether with a romantic partner, close friends, or even in professional bonds, will feel amplified. Scorpio, you are known for your profound emotional connections. But the intense cosmic energy this month could pull you into situations that either deepen these connections or push you to break free from unhealthy dynamics. So, what should you expect? A deep dive into what truly serves you in the relationships you've invested so much of yourself into. Take Maria, a Scorpio who has always been intensely loyal and protective in her relationships. In June, the energy of Pluto began to stir things up in her personal life. She realized that her long-term friendship with someone she had known for years was beginning to drain her. Despite the emotional attachment and history they shared, she noticed a pattern of emotional manipulation. At first, Maria resisted confronting the situation because of her deep attachment to this person. But the pressure of Pluto's transformative influence could no longer be ignored. Maria had to ask herself, is this relationship really nurturing me, or is it just draining my energy? Eventually, she made the difficult decision to distance herself. It wasn't easy, there were a lot of emotions and, at first, a feeling of betrayal, but in the end, Maria was able to regain her sense of emotional autonomy and break free from the unhealthy dynamics. This month, Scorpio, you may find yourself at a crossroads in your own relationships. There's a fine line between holding on to someone because of history and holding on to someone because they continue to nourish your growth. Trust your instincts when it comes to recognizing when a relationship has outlived its purpose. It's not about cutting ties hastily, but about being honest with yourself about where you're investing your energy. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for both yourself and others is to release connections that no longer align with your personal growth. It's important to note that Pluto's influence doesn't only cause relationships to end. It can also trigger deep healing. If you're in a relationship where both parties are willing to work through emotional challenges, this is a perfect time for deep emotional intimacy and growth. Relationships, especially those that have weathered many storms, can be reborn through honesty, vulnerability, and mutual understanding. However, Scorpio, this is also your reminder that vulnerability is a double-edged sword. If you've been avoiding being truly open and honest in your relationships, this month will bring up those feelings to the surface. You may feel exposed, vulnerable, and even fearful about showing your true self. But this vulnerability is the key to unlocking the transformative energy that Pluto is offering. Consider the case of Kyle, another Scorpio, who had been in a relationship for years but had kept many of his true feelings locked inside. He loved his partner deeply, but the emotional walls he had built over time created a distance that began to feel insurmountable. June's energy forced him to confront this reality. Kyle had to face his own fear of being hurt again, a fear rooted in past relationships. When he opened up about his fears and insecurities, something incredible happened. His partner responded with empathy. And their connection deepened in a way it never had before. Kyle learned that by being open and vulnerable, he wasn't just showing weakness, he was showing true strength, and in doing so, the relationship blossomed into something more authentic. So, Scorpio, if you find yourself facing moments of emotional discomfort or vulnerability in June, embrace it. It's through these moments that true healing can take place. Whether it's in your relationships or within yourself. The discomfort may feel overwhelming at first, but it's the first step toward the deep intimacy you crave. The more you allow yourself to be vulnerable, the more you'll find that the relationships in your life are either going to rise to meet you or fade away, and that's exactly what you need. Moving forward into the later part of June, you may begin to notice an increasing desire to create balance in your life. Scorpios are often known for their intensity and passion, which can sometimes lead them to take on too much at once. This month, the energy of Mars will be strongly felt, pushing you to take action, but also to be mindful of burnout. Mars brings a surge of energy, and while this can be incredibly empowering, it can also make you prone to exhaustion if you don't pace yourself. Picture John, a Scorpio who always believed in giving his best to everything, his career, his relationships, his personal goals. At the beginning of June, he was on fire, tackling multiple projects and balancing his commitments with ease. But by mid-month, he started feeling drained. The excitement from Mars' influence began to feel more like stress, and he realized he hadn't taken any time for himself. He was constantly running on empty, trying to do it all and be everything to everyone. That's when the realization hit, he needed to find balance. John learned to step back and delegate some of his responsibilities. He also took time to nourish himself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. With this newfound balance, John was able to maintain his passion without falling into burnout, and the positive impact on his life was immediate. This story is a powerful reminder for Scorpios to manage your energy wisely. You have an innate drive to achieve, but this doesn't mean you have to do it all at once. Sometimes, the best way to achieve your goals is by taking small, intentional steps that align with your energy levels. You don't have to run at full speed all the time. In fact, slowing down and resting can allow you to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. This brings us to the next point. June's energies are strongly urging Scorpios to step into their power by letting go of any lingering fear or doubt. For many Scorpios, fear has been a long-standing companion. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of being hurt, or fear of not being good enough. This month, the energy of Pluto is challenging you to face these fears head-on, to step into your personal power and live authentically. Fear may try to hold you back, but it's through overcoming this fear that you will find the greatest personal strength. Samantha, a Scorpio, had spent much of her life wrestling with the fear of not being accepted. She had always been careful to fit into what she thought others expected of her, especially in her professional life. But as June began to unfold, the pressure to conform started to feel stifling. Pluto's energy was pushing her to let go of the old narrative she had carried with her for years. Samantha realized that her fear of judgment was holding her back from truly showing up in her life. She made a decision to embrace her authentic self, starting by making bold choices at work and in her personal life that aligned with her values rather than with what others expected. As she stepped into her power, she felt lighter, freer, and more in control of her destiny than ever before. Overcoming fear isn't an overnight process, but June is a month where you'll feel the courage to take that first step. Scorpio, you are more powerful than you often give yourself credit for. Trust yourself, and trust that facing your fears will lead you to a place of freedom and empowerment. It's not about eliminating fear entirely, but about learning to act in spite of it. As June progresses, you may also feel a growing desire to explore your spiritual side more deeply. Scorpios, known for their investigative nature, often seek meaning in the unknown and feel drawn to uncover hidden truths. This month, with Pluto's influence at its peak, you might find yourself searching for deeper answers to questions about your purpose and place in the world. This is an ideal time for spiritual growth and exploration. Whether it's diving into a new practice, such as meditation, yoga, or astrology, or simply taking time to reflect on your inner world. Spiritual practices will bring a sense of peace and grounding during this intense month. Lena, a Scorpio who had been feeling disconnected from her spiritual path, decided in June to commit to a daily meditation practice. She had always been drawn to the idea of mindfulness but had struggled to make time for it. By dedicating just 15 minutes each morning to sit in silence and connect with her breath, Lena found herself more centered throughout the day. The anxiety she had been feeling began to dissolve, replaced by a quiet strength and clarity. As the days went on, Lena's connection to her spiritual self deepened, and she felt more aligned with her purpose than ever before. If you're feeling disconnected, Scorpio, now is the perfect time to create space for spiritual exploration. Trust that in slowing down and tuning into your inner world, you'll find the answers you've been searching for. Spiritual practices offer not just clarity, but the ability to see the bigger picture, helping you make decisions that are aligned with your highest good. As June draws to a close, Scorpios will have gone through a period of intense self-discovery and transformation. The path may not have always been easy, but the rewards will be immense. Through facing your fears, embracing vulnerability, and taking control of your destiny, you'll emerge stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your true self. The key, Scorpio, is remembering that you have the power to shape your reality, especially when you trust your inner wisdom. So, as the month progresses, continue to tap into that strength. It's time for you to embrace the transformation that's unfolding, and to trust that by the end of it all, you'll have gained more than you ever thought possible. As we approach the final stretch of June, it's time to focus on the deeper aspects of transformation that Scorpios often overlook, the inner changes that aren't always visible to the outside world but that shape the person you are becoming. This month, the stars are pushing you to dive into your subconscious mind, to peel back the layers of your past and confront the emotional wounds that still hold power over you. This kind of introspection isn't easy, but it's exactly what will allow you to shed the emotional baggage that's been limiting you. This type of self-work can be heavy, but it also offers an incredible opportunity for growth. Think about how hard it is to forgive someone who has hurt you deeply. Perhaps there's someone from your past, maybe even from childhood, who still lingers in your thoughts. Or a recent betrayal that's left scars that feel too deep to heal. Scorpio, you are no stranger to intensity, and this month, Pluto is calling you to confront these wounds head-on. It's tempting to hide from these painful memories or brush them aside, but the energy of June asks you to process them. Not for the sake of others, but for your own peace. Take Michael, a Scorpio who, for years, held on to grudges from a painful breakup. The relationship had ended on bitter terms, and even though time had passed, Michael carried around resentment and bitterness, unable to fully move on. The emotional weight started to affect every area of his life, his relationships, his career, and even his health. But June brought a shift. Under Pluto's transformative influence, Michael felt the pull to finally let go. He started journaling, reflecting on the situation from an objective perspective, and eventually reached the point where he could release his anger and forgive, first. For himself. The weight he had been carrying was lifted, and Michael felt a sense of emotional freedom he hadn't experienced in years. This story serves as a reminder to all Scorpios: healing requires facing your emotional wounds. Whether they're related to love, family, or past trauma, June gives you the opportunity to free yourself from the past. This may mean working through your feelings of anger, sadness, or betrayal. Remember, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for your own peace of mind. You don't have to forget what happened, but letting go of the emotional charge behind it will create space for new growth and new possibilities. Don't shy away from this work. The more willing you are to confront your shadows, the more light you will invite into your life. This month also brings an energy that may inspire you to take risks in areas of your life where you felt stuck. Scorpios are natural risk takers, but often, the risks you take are calculated, and only when you feel the timing is right. This month, however, you may find yourself confronted with an opportunity that feels completely outside of your comfort zone, something that challenges your usual approach. Whether it's an unexpected career opportunity, a new relationship, or a creative venture you've been dreaming about for a while, you might find yourself asking, "Am I ready for this?" The key here is to embrace uncertainty. This is not the month to play it safe. If you've been sitting on an idea, a project, or a vision for a while, June encourages you to take that leap. Take Olivia, a Scorpio who had been sitting on an idea for months, a dream to start her own small business. She had always been cautious, making sure everything was perfect before moving forward. But in June, the stars aligned in a way that made her feel like it was now or never. Olivia decided to invest in herself and put her idea into action, and though it felt terrifying, it was one of the most liberating decisions she had ever made. The courage she gained from stepping out of her comfort zone opened up doors she didn't even know existed. Scorpio. This is the perfect time for you to take risks. You may feel a mix of excitement and fear, but that's exactly what growth feels like. The universe is asking you to push past your fears of failure, to trust yourself, and to take that step forward. Remember, the greatest rewards come to those who are willing to leap even when they can't see the landing pad. So, if something in your life is calling for action, whether it's a new business, a new relationship, or a bold change in your career, this is the time to go for it. But as exciting as this risk-taking energy is, it's also important to temper it with a sense of reflection. Don't act impulsively, rather, take the time to reflect on why this opportunity feels so right, and what it means for your long-term goals. Scorpios are naturally intuitive, trust that gut feeling. But also make sure it aligns with your deeper sense of purpose. When you move forward with clarity, you'll find that the universe responds in kind. Lastly, let's talk about the power of self-trust. One of the most significant aspects of the Scorpio journey in June is the internal work required to reconnect with your deepest sense of self. For many Scorpios, there's often a lingering self-doubt. A fear that you're not enough or that you'll somehow fail. The energy of this month is asking you to silence those voices of doubt. You know what you're capable of, now it's time to fully step into that power. Think about Sarah, a Scorpio who spent years doubting her abilities. She had a successful career but always felt like she was faking it, like at any moment someone would realize she wasn't good enough. But when June came, she realized that her internal fears had been holding her back more than any external obstacle. She began to make conscious efforts to affirm her worth, practicing gratitude for her skills and accomplishments. Over time, Sarah's self-doubt began to dissipate, and she realized that not only was she worthy of success, she had earned it. The shift in her mindset was profound, and with it, she found herself taking on new challenges with confidence, no longer paralyzed by fear. Self-trust, Scorpio, is your greatest ally this month. The moment you stop doubting yourself and begin trusting your instincts is when you'll find yourself fully aligned with the opportunities coming your way. The stars are aligning, and the energy of June is supporting you in reclaiming your power. But that power lies within you, not in anyone else's validation, not in external circumstances, but in the quiet confidence that you are capable of greatness. So, Scorpio, as you move through this transformative month, remember that you are more than capable of handling whatever challenges arise. Lean into the discomfort of transformation, take those calculated risks, and, most importantly, trust in yourself. The growth and success you're seeking are already within reach, you just need to step into it with confidence. Let go of the past, embrace the opportunities ahead, and trust that June is the month where everything starts to fall into place. As we wrap up this cosmic journey through June, it's clear that this month has the potential to change everything for you, Scorpio. Whether you lose control or gain it all is entirely up to you. The stars are offering a powerful window for personal growth, emotional healing, and bold transformation. If you're ready to take on this challenge, to dive deep into your own power and self-discovery, then June is your time. Don't hold back. If you enjoyed this video and found these insights helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more astrology, self-growth, and spiritual guidance. We'd love to hear how you plan to navigate June and the powerful transformations coming your way. Drop a comment below and let us know how you're embracing the changes. Remember, Scorpio, the universe has your back. Stay strong, trust yourself, and let this month be the catalyst for your greatest transformation yet. Until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your soul, and keep shining brightly.